Hi guys, and welcome to our mini video on multiplying fractions. Okay, remember, when you're multiplying fractions, what you want to do is multiply the numerators together, and then you're going to multiply the denominators together. And once you're done with that, you're going to simplify. So let's say we've got two fractions. Let's say we have 2/3, and we want to multiply that by 1/4. Okay, these are regular fractions, proper fractions. What you're going to do is you're going to multiply your numerators, so 2 times 1. And you're going to multiply your denominators, 3 times 4. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 4 is 12. And you always want to simplify your fractions, so now that we're left with 2/12, we know that 2 and 12 both share a common factor of 2. So that will give us 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. Which gives us an answer of 1/6. Now, what you can recognize also is that you can simplify before you multiply. If you notice here, 2 and 4 both share a factor of 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. And when you multiply 1 times 1 over 3 times 2, you get 1/6. So these are the same. Okay, any way you want to do it is fine. Okay, so let's try another example just to make sure that you got it. Got to erase this. Okay. All right. So let's try 3/7 times 1/2. Okay, same rule. 3 times 1 and 7 times 2. 3 times 1 is 3. 7 times 2 is 14. 3 and 14 do not share any common factors, therefore our final answer is 3/14. Okay, and remember this always works just with regular fractions, proper fractions. So now let's talk about okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to multiply mixed numbers. Okay, and remember, mixed numbers are numbers that have a whole number and a fraction. So the first thing we want to do is we want to change it to an improper fraction, and then we're going to multiply the numerators and the denominators just like we did before. Okay, so let's say we've got a mixed number of 1 and 1/2, and we want to multiply that by 1 3/4. Okay, first thing we want to do is change 1 and 1/2 into an improper fraction. So you do that by doing 2 times 1, which is 2, plus 1, which gives you 3, so that's 3/2. And you're going to multiply that by 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7/4. Then you just go through and multiply. So 3 times 7 and 2 times 4. Okay, 3 times 7 is 21, and 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, now when you get to this part, you want to go ahead and change that into a mixed number. So we know that 8 goes into 21 2 times. 8 times 2 is 16. If you take 16 away from 21, you know you have 5 left over. So we're left with 2 5/8 as our answer. So remember, you're always going to change your mixed numbers into improper fractions, then multiply and simplify at the end of mixed numbers. So let's say we've got 3 1/3 times 2 1/2. Okay. So same thing, we're going to change 3 1/3 into an improper fraction, which would be 10/3, and 2 1/2 into an improper fraction, which would be 5/2. Then we multiply 10 times 5 and 3 times 2. 10 times 5 is 50. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, and then we ask ourselves, how many times can 6 go into 50? excuse me, it can go in 8 times because 8 times 6 is 48. So we're left with 2/6. And we can simplify the 2/6 because they share a common factor of 2. So that becomes 8 1/3. Okay, guys, hopefully this gave you some help if you were just wondering or trying to remember how to multiply fractions. Have a good night.